What up, Laker Nation? You're here with your boy Kareem, aka Mr. 100 Likes. How you guys doing? Wow. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, man. Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, man. Them guys don't know anything about basketball, man. I ain't gonna say anything, but it's sometimes guys let their feelings get in way with what it really is. Um, them guys there, man. Like sometimes they make good points, but how can you look at this and say that? Now, let's just talk. They didn't put anything in content. Let's get that straight. Their motto is you got to trade Russ by any means. Trade the 27th and 29th pick for Russ. I don't care. Now I'm gonna break everything down, right? Nick Wright said, "Oh, for a seventh grader, who cares about a seventh grader in 2027, 29, whatever, right?" And let me tell you how dangerous it is for the Lakers to do them to trade that 27 or 29 pick, right? It's for each his own. Now, you got Russ, right? You got LeBron and AD as the Lakers' two best players, right? So, them trade, I don't know if I'll do it. I definitely wouldn't do it for the deals they're talking about. But let's say if the Lakers had a 22 right now. I mean, let's say the Lakers had their first round pick this year. Or even a 23. Let's say if the Lakers had a pick, a first round pick 23 that they can trade. Then I respect it a little more. They say, okay, trade the 23. But trading 27 and 29 is very dangerous. Because you got Bron and AD, your best players, and they not going to be around. And it's a chance the Lakers could be starting from scratch. That could be the same thing like how Brooklyn, when they traded Garnett and Paul Pierce, and that's how Boston had got Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You cannot do that far apart when you have a old veteran team. You cannot do that if it's that far apart. Now, a Detroit Pistons, if they in more position to trade a 27 because they got a young team. So they can look at it as by the time we hit the 27, we're going to be good. That pick ain't going to mean nothing. See, you're dealing with two different things here. And see, this is what the content and this is what these guys don't break down to you. You know what I mean? It's a difference. You have Lakers, you got the Pistons, for instance, right? The Pistons is a young team. They building right now. A team, let's say a team who trading with the Pistons, they would rather have their 23 pick. A team would say, give me your 23 first round pick. The Pistons be like, no, because we still building. We still might not be that good in 23. So they will be reluctant to trade their 23. But they will give up their 27 quicker. Now the Lakers is totally opposite. They got Bron and AD and they're in win now mode. The Lakers will say, okay, I would trade you to 23. But a team like, no, give me 27. Because 27 going to be better for the team. And it will hurt the Lakers. 23, you could say, okay, the Lakers not going to miss the playoff back-to-back year. At worst, that pick may be 20, 21. You know what I mean? If they do it in 23. But with the Pistons, is a chance they might not make the playoffs again this year. It would make sense for them to give up 23. See, this is what the stuff they don't tell you, and they just talk about, oh, just trade Russ by any means. Now, I'm going to break down as far as what they just saying, okay, this getting rid of Russ. And Chris Broussard said, oh, they had first round picks. What the first round picks did? They had from Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball. What did they do for you? They didn't win you a championship. They used them guys to get AD, to get a superstar player, to get a championship. So it's still some correlation there. They used them guys to get a superstar player to win. Now, you used them guys to get a superstar player. Now, let's go back to what the trades that everybody hearing and the trades I heard Nick Wright and Chris Broussard talks about, and everybody talks about right now. It's basically two trades. One, Indiana, Brogdon, and Buddy Hield. The other one is Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre, right? Now, let me tell you how bad that be. Let's say the Lakers say, okay, we trade you to any one of them guys for and you got to give up the 27, right? Let's say they give a 20 Russell 27 for one of them guys. Now, Malcolm Brogdon and Gordon Hayward stay hurt. Let's say them guys play 50 games, right? And now you're dealing with on this end, Buddy Hield. Now, let's talk about Buddy Hield. He's a high volume shooter, low field goal percent shooter. He very streaky. He don't play any defense, and he don't create for others. He's not a playmaker. So he basically, if a 3-point shot ain't going, he's nothing to you. Kelly Oubre, solid, not so much of a 3-point shooter, / can play some defense. Boom. Now, the money guys in the trade is Brogdon on this end. Brogdon on this end and Hayward on this end. Now, this guy's got injury history. Now, let's say them guys do what they normally do. They 50 games they play. And it's so-so. And then you got the other two guys. Bron say, okay, I'm out. I can't do it. LeBron leave next year. Now, you don't got no cap space really. Because now you got Brogdon and Buddy Hield on your books. On this end, you have Gordon Hayward on your books. So now you done killed your cap space. LeBron left, and now you got rid of 27. Now you scrambling and trying to get off. You're not winning like that. That's not guaranteeing you nothing. Now, I would respect it more if they sat there and said, I would trade 27 with Russ if I'm getting back an all-star level player. You could stomach that. If you say, okay, a Zach LaVine, you know what I mean? Or, like I said, or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's, you attach those picks for that. As LaVine or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They not talking about that. They saying get rid of Russ by any means, and they talking about the two trades that everybody talking about, which that wouldn't even help the Lakers. I don't even see the Lakers. The Lakers ain't make the playoffs. Let's say the Lakers get a little bit better. Now you bringing in, either side you look at, you bringing in two major injury players. Gordon Hayward, 32 years old, major injuries, a big contract you don't want on your books. That's going to sit there. Malcolm Brogdon, a major injury. I think he's 30 or 29, 30, but major injury, always keep getting hurt. And these guys might not make that much of a difference. Let's say if Lakers won 33 games, AD always hurt. Bron gonna continue getting hurt. Let's say the Lakers win 45 games. Do you think that's a championship team? See, the problem is they keep thinking that you can just put guys around LeBron, they fit, they're gonna win a championship. If you watch these playoffs, you can see that thing don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. And then you got to leave some room to say, we don't know. But it's a good chance that LeBron can dip in production. He can dip in production. That is likely to happen. So you doing this, give 27 for guys that Russ better than Brogdon, all of them. Brogdon, Buddy Hield, Hayward, and Kelly Oubre. He better than all four of them guys. But we got to add a first-round pick that's 5 years away. That the team could be totally different. We could be a losing team with that pick we needed. And it may, what if that it turns around and that happened the 27th draft, it'd be a can't miss prospect. I mean, we ain't talking about the let's say it's the LeBron or a Shaq. You know what I mean? A consensus number one pick where a Tim Duncan. What if it's those type of guys, a Shaq, Tim Duncan, and them guys, LeBron James, at that draft. A consensus number one at that draft, a major player. You boo-boo, that hurts. You saying that, but you never know who may be at that draft at that time. It could be a 5-star, a can't miss, a clear number one. Not no Cade Cunningham, who better between him, Jalen Green, and this and that, or Jabari, like this year, Jabari Smith, or Chet Holmgren. Not that number one. A Tim Duncan, number one. A Shaq, a LeBron James, a clear number one that teams will move heavens and earth to get. You just never know. And for these guys, none of these guys are all-stars. Buddy Hield, Brogdon, Haywood, and Oubre, it's not worth doing. These guys, man, they don't know anything about basketball. You don't want them guys running your team. You do not want them guys running your franchise. They just talk. They don't put anything in content. Like I said, I respect them more. They should be saying, nah, I wouldn't do it now if it's for an all-star level play, because Russ is better than them. Russ numbers still better than them guys. And he was the third fiddle on the team this year. Much better player than them guys. Much more impact. I don't even need to go on to all that. But y'all know what I'm saying, man. And that's, I respect them more. If you're going to say that, mention a trade. Don't just say it like, oh, just get rid of Russ for a pick. So Chris Broussard and Nick Wright, man, you guys are sad, man. You guys need to, you know what I mean, take a break, man. Because they don't know anything, and they just, everything with Nick Wright is too much to cater around LeBron James, which I understand. You got LeBron James, you're trying to win, but it's a smart way of doing it. You're not winning like that with them guys trade for Russ, especially if you have to get a first-round pick. You're not. You're setting your franchise back. Mind you, when LeBron gone, that Laker franchise still going to be up and running for 20, 30, 50 years from now. You cannot think like that. That's not correct business. You don't do it like that. You know what I mean? I know you don't want to win, but you have to either figure it out or do something. Maybe things may open up by the trade deadline. Who knows? But you don't make a bad deal like that. That would be a horrible deal. You know what I mean? I need you guys to like, comment, share, subscribe. Them guys is horrible, man.